In every dark cloud, there is a silver lining. Opportunities stare at us every moment of our life. But when the environment is not enabling enough, the tendency for one to pass over opportunities repeatedly without being able to utilize it is very, very high. And the result is poverty. But the fact remains that no matter how hard the economy might hit us, with proper planning and good policy implementation, the sky will be our starting point. You are welcome to the program. Today we are going to discuss harsh economy and its effect on persons with disabilities. I know you people are watching me, but if you are watching without saying anything, you're not helping the channel to grow. Let's talk our matter. Let's hear from you. How is the economy treating you in that place where you reside? That community, that country where you are, how is the economy treating you people? Drop your comment right in the comment box below. We can't wait to hear from you. Once again, I want to use this opportunity to appeal to our excellencies, the governors of our states all over the country Nigeria, who are here to adopt and domesticate the Discrimination Against Persons with Disability Prohibition Act, to please help us with that act. Is a matter that is dear to our hearts. God bless you as you begin to adopt and domesticate the act in your various states. Don't forget to like this channel, subscribe to it, and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss out any of our edition. Remember to share so that others will see it. Like I told you earlier, we are going to discuss harsh economy and as it affects persons with disabilities. Recession dates far back as the 80s, globally speaking. But in 1997, countries like Argentina, Mexico, and Southeast Asia had great financial crisis. Though it did not spill over their border, but the people that live there experienced great hardship. And I'm sure that disabled persons were not left out of the drama. People, businesses were in problem. People lost their jobs. And a lot of people resorted to menial activities to keep life moving. In September 2008, countries like the United States of America, Europe, and Japan had their own share of economic crisis. Recession was very strong there. People began to suffer, businesses began to crumble. The value of their currency went low, and this began to affect the common man most. Because of the influence of these big nations on other countries, the recession spilled through their borders to that of the developing country. Our country, Nigeria, was not left out. Businesses suffered. People lost jobs. The disabled themselves were affected. The truth is that whatever affects the able-bodied people affects the disabled person multiple times. Yes, we suffer hardship, multiple effects than our able-bodied counterparts. Because the cost of living with disability is very, very enormous. As we are recovering from recession, we are about rejoicing that things are getting better. The last stroke that almost break the Camels back stroke, that was 31st December 2019, when coronavirus sprang up in Wuhan, China. Like play, everything spilled through the borders of China to other nations of the world. Every part of the world had a fair share of it. We were all there when countries entered lockdown. Yes, one after the other, countries begin to enter lockdown. People were asked to enter their houses, all in the bid of making sure that the virus did not spread from person to person. Our plan of stopping the virus landed us all in financial wahala. Yes, people were asked to enter indoors. Although in that 2020, a lot of people brought out their hard-earned money to make sure that their neighbors did not go hungry. I want to give kudos to the philanthropists that do that. Government, non-governmental organizations, civil society organizations, individual philanthropists, they all tried to use their hard-earned money to provide foodstuff for those who are in need. We are grateful for that. It is indeed a good thing. But the truth remains that despite all those palliatives that were provided, after 2020 coming to 2021 up to date, things are still happening. Many people are yet to find their feet, and the persons with disability are not left out. As I'm speaking to you today, so many persons living with disability are yet to go back to their business. Why? Because when they were sitting at home during the lockdown, they have no choice than to consume their capital. Yes, they consume their capital. And up to today, they are yet to be able to come back to business. I want to appreciate government and other organizations that are into empowering persons, especially persons with disabilities. Because I'm aware that some states have rolled out some skill acquisition programs and end up empowering their people. Talking about the state where I come from, Delta State, and the place where I reside, my governor, the disabled loving governor, Senator Dr. Ato Ifayokowa, through his job creation services, has been able to train and empower a lot of disabled persons. Kudos to you, my governor. But there's one area where I feel is not being looked at, and that is the area that concerns persons that are into trade. That is, people that are engaged in buying and selling. Yes, we seem to be focusing on skill acquisition and provision of starter packs. But there are people who are into buying and selling of goods, like foodstuffs, the OK materials, provision stores. Name them. Such persons are not normally brought into picture. It's good for one to learn a skill, yes, but not everybody has the talent to learn skills. Some people derive pleasure in buying and selling of goods, and we must find a way to carry these people along. I know a number of persons who are into trade that are yet to come back to business, and they always calling me say, chairman, abeg, we need money. If there's any way you can link us to people that can help. Well, I'm calling out on the government, civil society organizations, philanthropists that can provide such finances. I'm talking about grants, not loan. I'm talking about grants. Because when you give somebody who is sinking a loan, the person ends up sinking more. Yes, it's only when a business is gaining grant that you can take a loan and survive. Yes, I'm talking from experience. When you are starting a business with a loan, the business will crumble. But when your business is already there, thriving, and you have a loan to support, that's different. You can stand. So for such people who has consumed their capital and some of their goods are gone, giving them loan, I don't think we help. What they need is a grant. No matter how small. 50,000 naira is not too small. And if it's more than that, it's still okay. So that person can put it back in his business and be able to live life without resorting to begging. Because when people are idle for long, the tendency is that they will start thinking evil, and when people are involved evil, we begin to blame them. And when you say poverty push that person to die, you say, is he the only person that is poor? Not all of us have the mind to withstand poverty or hardship. Some of us are easily swayed to evil when we see hardship. So the economy is really biting hard on persons with disability. I want to narrow my discussion with persons living with disability. Yes, even though I know the world at large is in trouble, financially speaking, because a lot of things are happening. So I want to advise or appeal that government should please begin to look the direction of persons who are into buying and selling and see how they can support them with small cash as grant to put into their business. Having said that, I want to call the attention of government on some areas they need to put attention to as regards to helping persons with disability to find their food in the society. Because due to hardship, a lot of people cannot afford most of the essential things of life, especially when it comes to housing. Those of us that find ourselves in the capital city are having difficulty with house rents. The rate at which landlords increase rents nowadays is alarming. Even we that are in the service, we can no longer even afford to pay for house rents. Borrowing becomes our second name. And you know, when somebody is always financing his house rent with loans, feeding is a problem, because larger chunk of your salary has gone for loan. And so I want to appeal to the state government to see how they can help us that are in service with low and affordable accommodation. If it means building it for us and selling it to us as owner occupiers, we wouldn't mind, as far as it is within what our salary can carry. I'm appealing to my governor, who is the disabled loving governor. I know that our issue touches his mind very well. I believe you might be had the opportunity to watch this program, but if you're not watching, somebody who is watching it, you please help us call the attention of the governor to this. We really need the governor's assistance when as regards accommodation, especially in the state capital. More so, I want to also appeal to government to look at the area of social security policies. The government can benevolently approve a social security allowance for persons with disability who are not employed. No matter how small, at least 30,000 naira, which is the national minimum wage, can be given to such persons to help them survive in life. Not all persons living with disabilities can fend for themselves. That is just the normal truth. It's a fact. Not all persons living with disabilities can fend for themselves. Some people's disability are so acute that they cannot do anything to help themselves financially. They depend on the benevolence of others to survive. So if such persons can receive stipends, I think it will go a long way to support their caregivers, not to get tired. So I'm advocating for a social security allowance of at least 30,000 naira. So I heard that such a social security policy is currently going on in Jigawa State, where 7,000 naira is given to about 4,000 persons with disabilities. That is a good development. It's a welcome one. We're happy about it. But I think the amount should be beefed up. Because as we are today, current situation in the company, 7,000 naira cannot take anybody beyond 1 week. Yes, no matter how much you manage 7,000 naira, it cannot take you beyond 1 week. So please, let's look at the possibility of bringing up such allowances wherever it exists. Like in Jigawa State, where I was told that it exists. Let's try to beef it up. Kudos to the governor there. We appreciate you and we urge you to do more. And other states of the country where such things are not, please think in that direction. I believe you people can do it. I also want to call on the presidents and the leaders of other countries all over the world to please, if they have not have social protection policies, they should please put such things in place. It will go a long way to help our brothers and sisters who cannot fend for themselves to be able to eat till God calls them over. This will also discourage begging, because when somebody has something to collect by mountain, that person will be hoping on it and will not resort to begging. Even though I know that begging is in the blood of some of us. No matter how much they have, they might still want to beg. But the majority of people will be taken out of the streets. I want to also call for something special for us who are civil servants, especially in Delta State. Our disabled loving governor, Senator Dr. Ato Ifeanyi Okowa, should please approve for us a disability maintenance allowance, which is to at least 30% of our gross monthly income, paid into our salary as our monthly allowance to assist us with our monthly needs. We need something because recent events have eroded the salary. Yes, the take home is no longer taking us home because we bear double burden, multiple, not even double, multiple burden more than our able-bodied counterparts. If I have to go to any place, I going to office alone from my house, I pay 800 naira every day. Calculate it for 1 month, 16,000 naira monthly. That's I'm taxing it by 20. That is just going from my home to the office and coming back. I pay 800 naira. Chartered keke, yes, that's what I use. Then if I have to go to other places, can you imagine how much I will use on transport just for my salary? I'm not talking about other needs that have to do with my house rent, my paying for my children's school, and also taking care of their medical needs, because not everything is covered by the health scheme that is provided. There are some needs that comes up from time to time, and this our take home does not solve it anymore. So we need you to help us with additional allowance. I just called it disability main ten ance allowance for every disabled person that is working in the civil service. You can name it anything, but let it be specially made for disabled persons. It will help us a lot. I want to thank you because I know that as once this video gets to you, you will do the needful because you are being a father to the persons with disability. Another area I would really like the government to look into is the area of healthcare services. You and I know that healthcare services needs good money for one to take care of his or her health. But because most persons living with disabilities are living below the $1 per day poverty line, eating becomes a problem, not to talk of taking care of their health medically. And hence people result in taking all manner of concussion all in the head of keeping fit. I'll be happy if our government will fashion out some health policies that will specially made for disabled persons to assist them in ensuring that they access adequate medical treatment. It will be very nice if such medical services will be offered free of charge. It's not easy for any one of us, even we that are in service. It's not easy taking care of our health medical wise. I know you say you that is don't you have health scheme in operation? Yes, in my state we have contributory health scheme. That's true. But the number of tests they will ask you to run, some of them they say is not covered by the scheme. The last time when I went for medical treatment, I was asked to run several tests, and none of them was very cheap. All of them was very costly. Before you know, I was forced to go and borrow money to ensure that I conduct those tests before I could be treated very well. Such things should be looked into, and those policies should be adjusted, especially for persons with disability. They should look into it and adjust it to suit us very well. Another area that is calling for concern is the area of education. Education, yes. I know that in some states education is free. Like in the state where I am, Delta State, education is free. Yes, I can hear you say that. I can hear you. It's true. Education is free. But remember, it is tuition free. So beyond tuition, there are other things that need to be put in place for education to go on. Yes. Yeah, I know that recently we have come to know that every pupil, both pupil and students in our public schools are compelled to buy all their textbooks. Even the ones they don't read, they buy them. As far as it's part of the curriculum, you must buy them. And these books are not cheap to buy. So what is tuition compared to purchase of books, you might ask? So we need the help of government in that direction to assist persons with disability and also the children of persons with disability with their education through purchasing of books and writing materials. It's very very important because it's cutting into our pocket. Some of us cannot even afford that. I know some disabled whose children are out of school. They cannot even go to school because they cannot afford to buy notebooks, not to talk of textbooks. So we say it's tuition free, but there are some small small things they pay. Small small payment that overwhelms the poor, especially persons with disabilities. Also for disabled persons who have special needs like the visually impaired, the hearing impaired and children with learning difficulties, there are some materials that and devices they must use which should be provided for them, because these devices are exorbitant, they are costly. It is almost impossible for any child or the parent of any person with disability to be able, who is poor, to be able to provide such things for the child. We have hardwares like the large keyboards, we have alternative to mouse, we have softwares like screen readers, magnifiers, print to braille converters, braille to speech synthesizers, speech to text converters, memory stroke organization devices and voiceovers. All these materials are needed by persons with disabilities who have special needs to assist them in their education. Some of these materials should be also be provided in our ministries, because some of our persons with visual impairment are also working in the ministry and they need such materials like screen readers provided for them in their computers for them to be able to do their work. Above all, power should be made available, because if there is no adequate electricity, even when those devices are provided, they cannot be used, they become useless. So as we are providing those materials, we should also make sure that there is electricity to power such devices. And what they say is enough for the wise. Much said, and I know that people are listening to me, and I believe that very soon we will be getting solution. I want to call on everybody globally, every leader globally, all our world leaders, to please consider disabled persons, make social security allowances available in whatever form you want to make it, to assist persons with disability. Above all, I want to advocate in my country that every state in Nigeria should adopt and domesticate the discrimination against persons with disabilities prohibition act. I think that is one way sure to go. I cannot end this program without calling on my national commission, the National Commission for Persons with Disability, to please look into these issues that I'm mentioning. They should begin also to champion from the federal level a disability maintenance allowance to be paid to persons with disability, and also a social security allowance that will be at least our minimum wage, 30,000 naira for persons with disability not employed. Medical treatment should be made very very free for all persons with disability. Even those that are working, if they remove the healthcare and give us healthcare service free, I don't think anything is wrong with that. We deserve better things than we paying for our health. We have paid enough due in life, we have suffered so much that we need to be enjoying right now. We are bearing the same body with everybody counterparts, and they say I not be receiving the same salary. We receive the same salary with them, but we bear extra body more than they do. Where they can trek, I cannot trek, I have to pay for it. Sometimes you have to pay for people to help you fetch water. I don't want to talk of the other normal bills like electric bill and anything that everybody pay. So apart from the normal bills they pay, we incur extra expenses and we are receiving the same salary. So they should help us out with this. Are you aware that out of the 1 billion population of persons with disabilities, 80% live in developing countries? An estimate of 46% of old people aged 60 and above are living with disabilities. That 1 in every 10 children is a child with disability. And finally, that 15% of the world population or 1 billion persons with disability in the world are among the most hit by COVID-19 pandemic. Once again, I want to thank you for stopping by my channel today. Don't forget that we need you to make this channel grow. So subscribe to the channel, like and share it so that other people see it. Don't forget to turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss out any of our edition. With you, we make this happen. Together, we will hit the sky. Till we meet again, remain blessed and remain in the presence of the Most High God. Thank you.